Is it in there? Whereabouts? Bremerton or?
In Washington?
Yeah.
Fort Lewis.
Fort Lewis? I didn't know you were up there.
Yeah.
Now in Pearl Harbor, weren't you like in Paso Robles or someplace? Where were you when Pearl Harbor was hit? You were,
I don't remember.
you were up the coast, but not, where the heck was that? Camp Roberts? Is that in California? Is that where you were?
Yeah, Camp Roberts in California.
Is that where you was?
Were you at Camp Roberts?
Might have been there, might have been in San Luis Obispo.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think you were in San Luis Obispo before you went north. Then you went up to Washington. And did you have a lot of training up there?
What?
In Washington, did you have a lot of training when you were in Washington?
Oh yeah.
I suppose they probably trained
That's the one place I ever was that one cloud would come over and it would rain like hell.
Yeah.
Awfully rainy in Washington.
It also rained in Hawaii.
Not as rainy as it was in Washington.
Well, you must have been up there right after Pearl Harbor, right? So it would have been like...
Shortly.
Where were you at Christmas time? Were you up there at Christmas time?
I don't remember where I was at Christmas time.
But I would think you were probably up there December, January, February maybe. So it would have been rainy up there.
Well, they were up there all the time.
Too far back, I can't remember.
Well,
Ask Jason.
but you know, they get floods and stuff like that more in the fall and winter,
Yeah.
I think. And then you probably went back to San Francisco and went over to Hawaii, right? What do you have any idea when you left? Like February, March?
Yeah, let's see, I met him.
All I know is the ship that we went over to Hawaii was a ship that the United States had captured from the Germans during World War I.
World War One.
Yeah, it was an old ship.
Oh.
I met him in the summertime, I think, in Geneva. I met him on a blind date.
Yeah.
But Geneva was going with whatever his name.
Johnny Hawk?
It was Johnny Hawk. And so
Is that the girl from the
says,
picture?
and I had not dated at all.
Mhm.
And she says, "Come on, I got a date for you." And I said, "I don't want to go." She says, "Come on." I said, "No, I got to stay home and wash my hair." She said, "You can wash your hair tomorrow." She said, "You got to go." I told him I was going to bring him. So that's when I met him. And guess where we sat? In the rumble seat. That was fun.
I think the first time
I think.
First time you sat on my lap
Yeah,
in the front of the coupe.
in the front seat because it was cold. And I was so shy. God, I didn't want to even get near that.
I don't know how a shy girl would sit on somebody's lap on a first date. How embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I was probably redder than beat the whole time. Then we kept going. We'd have, whenever they had some time off, we'd go to Peck Park up here and have picnics.
Mm.
I can remember one time Mom gave me a quarter of a chocolate layer cake to take. Boy, oh boy, did he go for that. We brought food and we'd have picnics.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I know. You have movies of some of that stuff.
Peck Park wasn't anything like it is right now.
No. So that was in the summertime.
And then he was stationed on in the Catalina Terminal building.
Here in San Pedro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had we pulled guard duty all around the harbor.
Mhm.
And I was down there on one of those docks, and the Japanese Navy sent one of her kids out and asked me if I'd like to have a piece of pie.
Oh, really?
I said, yeah. So the kid come out with a piece of pie, sure enough.
Aw. There was a
The
Japanese family that lived in Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There were a lot of Japanese people who lived around there. And
Yeah.
you know, I know it's a terrible thing to think that they rounded all the Japanese to put them, in those
they
camps.
were afraid they were going to form
But
an
the
attack
thing
here.
is, the Japanese never forgot their roots.
Yeah.
They used to send their children back to Japan for education.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like they never cut their ties to Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't tell who was a good
Mhm.
American citizen and who was going to be who's going to give us trouble.
Turn
So
pro-
that's,
Yeah.
It kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of now.
and then I was reading today in the
That female in Hawaii, the
Edith.
one was named Edith.
Mm-hmm.
She was Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people in Hawaii were of Japanese descent because Japan had the idea that they had to expand all over the Pacific,
Right.
and Hawaii wasn't.
they were the night territory at that time. And they were a territory but not a state.
Well, they were our territory.
Yeah, they were our territory but not a state.
Well,
I was reading it, and I can't remember. It seemed like maybe it was one of those little magazines I get. I think it might have been Guidepost magazine or something. And it was about a guy that said that one of the things he got at the beginning of the war, and one of the most valuable things he got was a little white Bible. FDR had given out the orders that all the servicemen, all the soldiers would be given little white Bibles.
mm-hmm.
And he said it saved his life, but because he read it and he felt like it had saved his sanity by
Mhm.
having that little Bible, and he carried it with him everywhere he went.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interesting stories about
Yeah.
the war.
Yeah. I heard on the radio again yesterday the story. I think it was World War I though, where it was Christmas Eve and the Germans were fighting the Russians or somebody, and at midnight on Christmas Eve
Well,
they stopped fighting. Oh, they were fighting us,
Mhm.
and they stopped. They stopped shooting and came out and started singing Silent Night, and then our guys stopped and came out and started singing with them,
That was
and
World War
then they went across and they were trading cigarettes and candy bars and stuff, and they kind of celebrated Christmas, and then they went back to the war.
Went back to fighting.
Went back to do their jobs again.
It's a
Yeah.
Garth Brooks song too.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's because people inside we all know that, the enemy is just like us.
Yeah.
On some level. Except for those that,
Except for Hillary Clinton.
well, I'm thinking of Al Qaeda,
Yeah.
who just wants everybody dead regardless, because it means they get to go to
Well,
heaven.
I see it someplace,
Yeah,
one
the-
of those little magazines.
The Mohammedans, that's all the Muslims are, the Mohammedans, and that was their whole doctrine.
Well, I think there are a lot of Muslims who are just peaceful people. A lot of them live here, the people that have fled that area.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been hearing a lot about the Christians that live